Hello, I'm Mike, and this is the 2021 Mazda CX-30. I already did a review of it last year, but this particular one is a little bit different because it has a turbo engine now. So, how much better is it? Well, to find that out, let's go for a drive. This turbo engine is one that we're all familiar with. It's in the Mazda CX-9, the CX-5, the Mazda 6, the Mazda 3, and now the CX-30. I wonder how long it's going to take for Mazda to put it in the MX-5. Mazda, I hope you're listening. But anyway, back to this turbo engine. It produces 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque if you use regular fuel. But if you use the more expensive premium fuel, then you'll be getting 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Despite this little SUV weighing almost 1,600 kilograms, it really goes. I mean, this turbo engine produces a lot of torque way down low in the RPM range. So the transmission doesn't even really need to downshift to really get you going when you're accelerating onto a highway or just overtaking someone. This engine also sounds pretty good. It sounds not so much trashy like how other four-cylinder engines sound, but it sounds more muscular, like it's much bigger than it actually is. I mean, granted, 2.5 liters for a turbocharged engine is already pretty big, especially considering most other companies use 2-liter engines, but still, this just sounds like it's bigger and beefier and has some muscle behind it. Fuel economy is okay. I only say that because highway fuel economy is actually pretty good for a turbo engine. It's rated at 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers. However, city fuel economy is not that okay. It's rated for 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And this engine does not have auto start-stop. However, right now I can tell you that I am averaging about 10 liters per 100 kilometers. So you can definitely achieve those fuel economy targets. With this turbo engine, you get a 6-speed automatic transmission. That's right, you heard me correct, 6-speed. When all the other manufacturers have moved on to 7, 8, 9, some even 10 speeds, Mazda has decided to stick with the 6-speed and just refine it. It's gotten to the point now where it is the best shifting 6-speed automatic on the market right now, and pretty much one of the last ones as well. The shifts in between gears are very quick for an automatic, and they're also very smooth. Even if you decide to take over the shifting duties with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, they are very quick to respond to your inputs. But of course, Mazda is more known for its handling dynamics, and this CX-30 does not disappoint. Obviously, it's not going to handle like the MX-5, but for what it is easily the best in its class. The steering weight is very nicely balanced. There's just enough feedback so that I know what the front tires are doing, and it's actually a lot of fun to drive for a extra small, compact crossover SUV. The ride of the 2021 Mazda CX-30 Turbo is fantastic. It is very well balanced for both sporty driving as well as daily comfort. Body roll is very well composed if you decide to drive on a twisty mountain road like how I am right now, but the suspension also does a good job of absorbing bumps and the roughest of roads if you decide to go on a gravel road. The only thing that you'll really hear is the engine when you accelerate. Again, like I said, it's not a bad sounding engine. It actually sounds really good for what it is. And that's only when you really accelerate hard. If you're just gently accelerating, you'll hear a little bit of the engine, but you can still have a very quiet and peaceful conversation with the people all around you. Because the CX-30 is basically a raised Mazda 3, the proportions on the inside are quite similar. Yes, the CX-30 is slightly larger, but not in all areas. It has a bit more headroom than the Mazda 3, but slightly less legroom in the front seats. The back seats, however, offer a bit more space than the Mazda 3, both in terms of headroom and legroom. But as you can see, that's not really saying much. I still struggle to sit behind my driving position. In the trunk, the CX-30 only gets 3 liters extra of cargo volume at 572 compared to the Mazda 3 hatchback's 569 liters. Fold the rear seats and the Mazda 3 hatchback actually has more cargo capacity at 1,334 liters versus 1,280 liters for the CX-30. The CX-30 has Mazda's new infotainment system, which is much faster and prettier to look at. The 8.8-inch widescreen is not a touchscreen and has to be controlled with the rotary knob on the center console. For the most part, it's quite intuitive to use. That is, until you launch Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Those systems were designed to work better with a touchscreen, not a rotary knob. They work in this Mazda CX-30, but a touchscreen would be more intuitive to use with those apps. Other features that can be found in the Mazda CX-30 include heated seats, power liftgate, adaptive cruise control, a heads-up display, and a full suite of advanced driver and safety features. But in Canada, the advanced safety features are only available on the GS and GT trims, apart from blind spot sensors, which are standard across all trims. The overall shape of the 2021 Mazda CX-30 is similar to that of the Mazda 3. It has a similar grille, headlights, taillights, and an egg-like hatch shape. But to make it look more like a crossover, Mazda decided to put a lot of plastic cladding along the lower parts of the CX-30. This plastic cladding just looks cheap and doesn't give the CX-30 that premium look that Mazda is going for with their vehicles. The ride height is fine because it makes getting in and out a bit easier than the Mazda 3, but they should have just left it at that without all the plastics. So, how good is this 2021 Mazda CX-30 Turbo? Very is the answer. Not only does it drive really well, especially compared to its Kia and Buick rivals, but that interior is just top-notch and fantastic. As well, it starts at around $24,500 Canadian, which is pretty much the same starting price as the Kia Seltos and the Buick Encore GX. But if you want it with this turbo engine, be prepared to pay $36,250 Canadian. That's quite a lot. Compared to the top spec trim of the Kia Seltos, it's about $4,000 more. And it's the same story against the Buick Encore GX, the starting price of its topmost trim. But with the Encore GX, you can add on packages which do raise the price to around $37,000 Canadian. However, among those 3 vehicles, the CX-30 is still the best one, and that's the one that I recommend you go out and buy. If you want to know more about this 2021 Mazda CX-30, I wrote a more detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck or probably be another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.